Okay, we're back. I know the stream crashed halfway while I was trying to sort this out. It completely crashed, and then I realized the viewership just completely dropped to like 5, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And then I realized the stream is down. It was just loading indefinitely. So no idea what happened. So I had to recreate the stream. Hopefully everyone finds me again. Sorry about that, people. I don't know why. It does it. Luckily, we didn't really miss much. The market's still been very indecisive, but we've cleared the news now. Still day trading the NQ. Let's just wait for everyone to come back into the chat. Hopefully, everyone finds us. Man. All right. Looks like people are coming back in. Awesome. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, the stream crashed again. No idea. If for whatever reason, if the stream starts crashing and it just starts indefinitely loading, just put something in the comment, like in the chat, say, oh, stream's not working, something like that. Because then I can end the stream and restart it, because that's the only way of fixing it. And I'm not sitting there talking to myself for ages, whilst no one can hear or see me, essentially. So, yeah. All right. Let's do this. What I'll do with the for the person who wanted to see the live account, whatever, what I'll do is I'll post it on like Instagram on the story. All right. Because trying to do it here on stream, trying to blur out the broker name, and it's difficult. What tick range do you use for your footprint? It depends. Honestly, completely depends on how volatile the market is. Right now, it's set at 24 because it's moving a lot. But I just try and make it look like I will change it, in increments of 4. So like, to like 28. If it gets too small each cluster and it's hard to see, then I'll change the increments, up by 4, down by 4 if it gets too big. Completely depends on, how volatile the market is. But let's actually get some trading in. Still very bearish on the day, but let's see what kind of volume we're looking at here. Got a big amount of sellers came in, but I think we're still stuck in potentially a range. But if we come back up into this kind of area here where all those sellers are, and we get some good potential, sell pressure come in, might go in short. So I'm an MNQ, we'll do 5. I can double. Come on. Not so quick. There's some sell pressure coming in, but they got absorbed. Because I'm very wary shorting the bottom of potentially a range, right? But then again, I can have my stop at 694 up here. I can do 5 micros, I think. Yeah, the sell pressure is coming in. All right, I can have a stop at 694. There it is. Yeah, oh, look at those sellers. Beautiful. And to target, let me just drag this over a bit. Yeah, we're going to target these lows down here. Let's see. I think we can go even lower. I think potentially we can even get down here, but let's see how it progresses. If we get a pullback, I will flatten, jump in again. I don't want to see those buyers get affected. Oh, 300 of them, but they're... So really, if we break above those buyers now, that's where I'll be closing out. So we're just going to trail it. But it is very, very volatile, the market. So there's a good chance you can just get a little wicked out. But I'd rather trail it because this market is so indecisive. And these buyers will come in and push the market up again. And then next cycle, ideally, I really should have shorted, up here, but I was already off stream. Not here, sorry. Further up in the range. So I got in a late entry. So I'm only doing 5 micros. Are the buyers effective? They're being absorbed. They're being held back a bit, which is good. I only see those sellers push below those buyers. Now the buyers pushed it through. That's fine. Got trailed out. Just get rid of that box. Look at that volume, 844. There's a good chance they're going to squeeze out some of these sellers and then make the move again, especially when it's this volatile. Just get rid of Epic Pen because this is slowing down my PC, this freaking Epic Pen. There it is. All right, cool. I just want to get my cash account as well because I've yet to take a position today. Yet to take a cash position, which is not good. Let's pop that there. All right, that kind of works. Would you please make a video about levels marking? Yes, absolutely. I'll make a proper long form video, you know, explaining how to mark out the levels. Like the next level I see potentially where we might get a push down would be here. Just because it's a little gap and that lines up to these buyers here. So potentially I'm looking to short again. We've got 155 sellers that came in. Let's see if they're effective. Buyers are still reloading. Buyers are starting to struggle a bit. Let's see what happens. 120. Yeah, I'm going to jump in short again. Hopefully we get a move up. My stop can be a little bit higher, just above there. Hopefully these sellers can hold off some of these buyers, but oh, they came in strong quickly. So this would be the first area I expect some kind of pushback from the sellers. We got stopped out quick on that one. That was a quick stop out. Next, we got the point of control right here, which is the next area where potentially you're going to see some kind of, you know, what do you call it? Sell pressure to come in and protect this market. These these sellers might get squeezed out now. I can get rid of that little box. That came, bloody hell, this market is, look at that, 350. Where the hell are they all coming from? Whew. That's an insane volume. We just blew through the point of control. The next area will be this. I expect some kind of pushback. My God, 300. Another 300. 1,484 to the buy side. Jeez. 500. Holy crap. All right, well, I'm going to hold off for a bit. That came out of nowhere. How 500? That's insane. I still have coffee I need to drink. Ooh. It's gone cold. Ugh. Cold coffee. Hey Sam, I hope you're doing well today. 1 second. I feel like this could be the next potential area. I'm just going to get my cash account loaded up. Where is it? There it is. All right, I'm going to dip my toe in again with 5 micros. Because if we get below that 4.5 456. If we get below here, I mean, instantly the buyers kind of pushed it back up again. But if we get below them, we've got a nice move down again. But it looks like the moment I entered, unfortunately, a bunch of buyers came in. Yeah, they're keep pushing this up, potentially back up to this area. I think they're going all the way back up to the range before we get another push down. I just want to be able to pile on a few positions, you know. Give me a nice leg here. I love cold coffee. I like cold coffee as well. Cold coffee is great, but you know when it's like hot coffee, but then turned cold, that's I guess all coffee is hot coffee turned cold. I guess that is literally what iced coffee is, but I don't know. It tastes different. It's okay, but yeah. I don't believe this is a full scale push up again. I don't believe this is a full scale reversal. This is just a lot of dip buying happening. The contract sizes are insane. They're pushing the delta all the way from negative 3,000, all the way to negative 1,000. So an extra 2,000 contracts came in. We'll get the sell-off again. That was a proper V-shaped reversal right there. But I'm expecting sellers to, at some point, you know, start being efficient in the market here. What volume profile do you use? I use the fixed range volume profile. It's available on like TradingView. I think it's free as well. I don't think you need a subscription or anything. It's even on Project X as well, actually, to be fair. Fixed range. Oh, this happened quick. Let's see what's going on. Freaking quick. Just want to see if the sellers are effective. They're still not effective. They're still struggling. In this situation on the footprint, why not look for trap sellers on a pullback instead of looking for trap buys? You can do it both ways. I've just got a very strong bearish sentiment still in this market. I'm anticipating like a big drop. I've been anticipating it for ages now. We've had like snippets of it, and then we get these kind of bullish moves up where the volume is just ridiculous. Like in comparison, the volume is just mental. And someone on the other side of the book is just building up a gigantic sell order. And they've been doing this for like almost 2 weeks now. There's been some institution building up a sell position passively that's just huge, utterly huge. It must be like well into like 10,000 contracts now. Trade order. Look at the hourly. Let's take a look at the hourly. Just want to see. All right, let's quickly look at the hourly. It's just disgusting, isn't it? What even is that? Yeah, this just still doesn't know what it wants to do, man. Even NFP couldn't give direction to this market yet. We are. I wonder what the daily looks like. I can imagine the daily just looks utter filth. Let me just get rid of the volume profiles. Oh, man. Yeah, we're getting squeezed here. We started off like it was still very much in the range. We're bang on what I can imagine is the point of control of this area on the daily. Let me just check. Yeah, the point of control right there. We're pretty much bang on into it. This is such a build-up of pressure. Once it finally goes, hopefully it happens soon. My God, it's been building up for months now. If you actually look at it, this pressure has been building up for months, especially in the last couple of weeks. We've really had, especially in January, we've really had such a build-up. When it pops, oh my God, finally, it's really being squeezed from both sides. We're getting to that fine point now where any day now, any day, hopefully we actually get some freaking real movement in this market. This has been such an indecisive market. It just doesn't want to go. Like it starts going and then nah, change my mind. It wants to go and I changed my mind. It's just day in, day out. And Racing Coalition, I'm good. How are you, my friend? Classic head and shoulders pattern as we sweep yesterday's today. Yeah, I saw the head and shoulders earlier. What's your strategy if you're down mind? If you're down mind, or is it pure discretion? What's your strategy if you don't mind, or is it pure? Yeah, so my like cash account strategy is a bit different to what I do here. But with my cash account, like I don't take many trades. Like I still scalp, but I don't take many of them. I only take the cash account strategy is essentially, let me just make this a bit bigger. It's mark out longer term gaps. So like this leg down, I'll mark it out. And I'll mark out the most extreme gaps within that volume profile. So we got one here, got another one here. And when we get to these gaps, I will go into the footprint and I'm only looking, I'll shorting, but they don't happen very often. And then we had a little push up. So I'll do a volume profile from here to here. And then I'll try mark out, any extreme gaps. We had one here. That one failed, kind of held, but the point of control held there. And then we had, a big push up. Oh shit, this is the 1 minute chart. No wonder. I will do it on the 15-minute chart. Sorry. I'm looking at the 1 minute chart and I was wondering, I was like, yeah, I'll do it on the 15-minute chart. So like this leg up here, and then I'll mark out the gaps that matter. And then basically when we get to those gaps, like that will be my next area where I'd want to buy. This one here, I'll mark out any gaps. There's one, oh, there's a beautiful one right there. That's a really good one, which we hit earlier today, but that was pre-market and I missed it. And we're coming back into it now, actually. Let me have a quick look. Come on, load. Let's see what happens. This is finally back into it. And get rid of that real quick. All right, we're getting some level of rejection. Come on, zoom in. 200 contracts at the top, another 200. We're starting to trade below them. Let's see if it holds. I'm going to dip my toe in. So what I do then is I dip my toe in with a small amount. Okay. And if it starts going in my favor, I start adding on the positions, right? And then to catch, and I'll pile on the positions as we start going. So when I'm right, I really want to be right. If I'm wrong, I only want to risk a little bit and just like, okay, wrong, out, dip your toe in. When you're right, you really, really want to be right. Do you know what I mean? So like I will then mark out as we start moving. Hopefully we start. So we see this 300 contracts here. If we start getting above them and the buyers start pushing it up, then obviously I'm going to get out this market and it's not not happening yet, essentially. Let me just see what the hell this area is. Why have I got this marked out? Let me get rid of that. So just dip your toe in. Dip your toe in. This might be okay for a cash account trade, actually. Where's my cash? Here it is. Put in. Come on. Manage this trade on the cash. I need to set the stops and all that. I'll have a dead stop here at 828. Yeah. And then I will have potential. Okay, so we're just broken above that 300. Let me just quickly, 1 second, while I manage this. So I want to see what's actually happening. Sellers are trying to push the buyers down, but you see how the buyers are just keep reloading it, and they're being quite effective. I don't think it's happening just yet, so I'm out already. I flattened, but that just, yeah, I was too slow to flatten, basically. But yeah, there you saw it perfectly, right? You saw how on that cluster there, although it was going down, it might happen now. Oh, let me jump back in. Let me jump back in 1 second. I want to see that happened so quick. Hopefully people caught that. What happened in this cluster, this 1, 2, 6, because it's really a real-time thing, right? What happened in that cluster was clear as day. The sellers are not going to push it down, because although it was dropping the numbers, the candle was still actually moving up, right? Even though sellers were coming in, they weren't able to even just, like, that was it. Like, those buyers were just, like, not happening. So although when it closed, Jesus, 8, what the hell? Okay, that went to 8 to like 500 to 400. All right, we got a huge amount. Holy crap. Holy. That was at 800. We're now at 500. What is going on here? We're at 600. So, all right, there's, again, did you see that absorption? One entity just picked up 400 contracts. Look at that, 1,000 contracts, and we're not pushing up. There is a massive passive seller still in this market, waiting for what I can only assume is going to be a freaking crash at some point. Because why are they absorbing 1,000 contracts? They're still absorbing it. They're still absorbing right here. Absolute insanity, these numbers. And they're just hoovering up all these contracts. It's absolute crazy right now. Holy crap. 1,000 contracts in one price level. Like, that's rare for NQ. That is genuinely quite rare. I have a level marked out on this, but it's not marked out here. I just want to see what level I got marked out on a separate chart. We go 15 minutes real quick. Ah, I know which level. It's right there. All right, go back to 1 minute quickly. My God, those buyers came in like aggressively, but 1,000 contracts normally on the NQ would push this market up ridiculous amounts, right? Like, that's not normal volume. It really, honestly, it's not normal volume. You do not see 1,000 contracts in one area on the NQ. Never see it. Like, you see it once in a blue moon. You see it maybe once every few months. You might see something like that. Like, it is, the amount of volume is just insane. So you got to question, the only way that volume can come in is from the order book, right? That is aggressive, so that is an aggressive buyer. But in order for that to actually have ever been executed on one level without pushing the market up, because if the book was thin, this market would have gapped like crazy, right? But we didn't gap. We just kind of stayed kind of close. We're up a few points, maybe. What are we up? 16 points from. It's just not enough. It is not enough. The volume doesn't add up. It's not. There's a big kind of what the hell is going on here. There is a seller, a ridiculous seller right now in this market, building up a position, and God knows why. Like they clearly for some reason believe this market's going to dump. Will it dump now? I don't know. Maybe not. Like you don't know when it's going to dump. This is the thing. Technically, I should be shorting this market again, but I kind of want to get below the 600, like this cluster, because I feel like they're going to defend, and they are defending. So I'm going to hold off until we actually break below them. Ideally, I want to short up here. That's the next ideal move. I want to see what happens in that area. Again, look at that, 300. Like, just look at the size of that candle. It's relatively normal size, but it's got over 1,200 contracts in it. It's just insane. 30 delta percent. That's insane. Look at that, 34%. They're still getting hoovered up, because although we're pushing up, we're not pushing up for that size of volume. Does that make sense? It's like having a, I don't know, 6.3 liter V8 engine, and you're full throttling it, but you're only doing 30 miles per hour. Like, something's wrong with the engine. Do you know what I mean? It shouldn't be doing 30 at full throttle. You should be like shooting off really quick. Like, the volume to the movement is just not, there's something not right. And the only reason that happens is when there is a seller in the market absorbing all of it. Like, they can, because they scatter their orders over multiple levels, right? It's not just one level. Yeah, sorry, it's not just one level. It's scattered over a large area. A couple of minutes ago, let me just catch up with this chat real quick. What was the last thing I saw? I saw that message, saw the Head and Shoulders one. Oh, Tom is back. Tom, good to see you. Sam has a side hustle website called Sam's Toad Dipping. Only Tom could come up with. That genuinely made me laugh. It's too volatile to trade. I'm glad I traded London. It is very volatile right now. Why are you so short biased? We just rallied. Look, short term, I'm short biased because of the volume. Because of, like I just explained, we're full throttling, and we're not really moving as much as you should expect. There's just big absorption happening on the sell side, and the only, like, this isn't a retail trader. This is a giant institution. I mean, 600, if they absorbed 1,000 contracts, right? Let me just get a quick calculation out. 1,000 contracts on the NQ, what the actual position size that is. It would be, get a calculator. What price are we at? 25. I know what happened there. 25,837. $20 a contract. Point is 20,000, so 10 point. We're talking well over $500,000. Not $500,000, I mean $500 million with a B. We're talking over $500 million, right? Absorbed by one entity in one little area, right? Like insane money we're talking. And that's just happened there. It's been happening for the last 2 weeks. We've been having this. I don't know whether it's the same entity. It might be multiple. That you can't tell. You can't tell if it's just one entity, if it's multiple. You can't. I mean, it doesn't give you that information, right? But it's fair to say, like, if I drop this down to like 4 ticks, so we just see it one point, like a massive cluster, right? Massive cluster of buying, all in one little area. Now that was probably triggered through a breakout, right, of some kind. I'm assuming that was a breakout. The liquidity was there in the book. I mean, sorry, it was there because of we broke out of some level. I can probably check it in a second. Let me just 24 back, get it back to normal because this is ugly. Okay, that's somehow updated to 700s, but all right. Oh no, because I've changed the size, so the cluster's a bit bigger. But you get my drift, right? What was I at? 28? Yeah, I was at 28. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I mean, again, insane. And it's just not happening. Like we've drifted up, but we're not going up as we should for that volume. Like sadly, the footprint you can't look at historical data. Like you can go back like a few days, I think. But if we went back to, for example, it's not gonna work, but we just go to the candlesticks. If we went back to, where was it? Remember this crash back in March, April of last year? This massive crash. If you were trading at the time and looked at the footprint, you saw similar contract sizes going in from the sell side, but it like dropped. I can't tell you how much it dropped. It didn't just drop 16 points like it did now. It dropped, 160, 200 points in seconds. Like within seconds, we were dropping a stupid amount of points, right? Like this whole move is, 4,000 points. We were going, like one candle was easily 100 points, no problem. And that was down to, the volume equaled the kind of movement you would expect, right? It was true. That's the only way I can kind of describe it, right? The movement down was what you would expect with the contract sizes being traded. The last couple of days, we've had so much buy pressure come into the market. We haven't moved. We just haven't moved. Like, yes, we've gone up a little bit here and there, right? The last like week or two since I mean, I didn't really track it that well in December. I can't remember, but since January has started, yes, we've gone up a bit, right? 500 points. But the amount of volume that's been traded does not equal 500 points of movement. There is a seller right here, longer term seller. They're not like on one price level and they're absorbing every buyer that comes in. They're feeding a big sell order. And at some point, and the only reason I can imagine they're doing that is obviously because they think the market's going to go down and they're putting a really big bet. So once in a while, they're dropping a few hundred million constantly every day, 500 million here. They're building up billions of dollars in position size. Now, could they theoretically be wrong? Of course. I mean, they could absolutely be wrong. There's been institutions that completely went bust and lost billions and billions of dollars, right? Because they did something, they made a bet and they were wrong, right? So it's not like a guaranteed, oh, it has to drop. There's no such thing as a guarantee. But if they're putting that much size into the market, at some point, do you know what I mean? It's cooking for a massive drop. Yeah, it's cooking. That's what since January, since the beginning of January, it's been cooking for a big drop. And I have no idea when it's going to happen. It could happen today, it could happen Monday, it could happen next week, it could happen. But at some point, it's going to happen based on the volume. It's like remember 2008, the Big Short. Michael Burry took it. He spotted the short, and before it took him like 8 months before it happened. That was a long-term play. But my God, when it happened, it happened. Like, I'm not saying this is going to be a copy of 2008. Fuck, I'm missing it right now. What is going on? We're getting down below. Every time I talk and I don't look at the screen, let me just get my cash count up. I don't want to miss this on cash. Where are we at real quick? Getting below them. We've got that little area of buy. I want to see a little pullback and see the sellers defend. Let me just load that up. All right. Come on, get me a... I don't want to chase it because like, I could have a stop above this candle. But we do have this annoying area right there. Just blocking. Yeah, that freaking gap is right there. Come on, give me a little bit of a pullback. Give me a little bit of a pullback. Just back up to like, don't drop just yet. Freaking hell, I missed it. Don't drop yet. Come on. Give me a little bit of a pullback. Just do that. Do that. That's all I'm asking. I don't want to chase the volume. Give me a pullback here. Come on. You can do it. That's another thing. You gotta constantly watch the footprint, man. You have to watch it because the moment you take your eyes off it, then the move happens. Like I didn't even freaking see it, but you can see it in hindsight now. I was talking about Michael Burry and whatnot, but again, you saw it here. Look at all the buy volume again coming in, and then as we traded below it, the bigger sellers, like there was your entry. Again, to dip your toe in, and then you can start adding more positions as we start going down. But I don't want to get in now because my stop is going to have to be huge, right? So I'm hoping there's a pullback of some kind where I can actually get the entry. I want a proper pullback now. Just a bit of a pullback, like there. Go back into the where all the sellers came in, let them defend, and then push it down. But I feel I've missed it. I missed it. Shit happens. Alex, it feels like you want it to drop, but it may never happen. Of course I want. I mean, I don't want it to drop. I'm just judging. My bias is purely judged on what I've seen in the last few days. If I saw it the other way, that sellers were getting absorbed ridiculous amounts, then yeah, I would be like, we're expecting a push up. I'm purely basing it on what I've seen. I'm not basing this on like, I don't know, on like a gut feeling. I'm basing it purely on the data I have seen. For the last, like since January started, every day on this stream, I'm saying the absorption is there. There is there is something at play here. There is some institution building up a huge order. That's all I can say. I don't know why they're doing it. I can't tell you, who they are. I can't tell you if they're right or wrong. I can't, like, all that stuff is up in the air. They could be completely freaking missed this move. That's pissed me off, man. Completely missed it. Never mind. Sometimes you miss them. But you're right, ultimately. Look, it may not happen, but there is definitely an institution building up an order. That's all I know. That's all I can say. I don't know if it doesn't mean guaranteed that they're going to be right. It doesn't mean that it's guaranteed it's going to happen. Look, it could be, it could be based on a few things, right? It could be based, maybe this institution has insider knowledge on something. Insider knowledge, usually, people place big bets, but they have to spread it out as well, right? If, for example, they know that in a week's time, something tariff related is going to, or something, they have some kind of information that's going to drop this market massively. They can't just buy. They can't just enter a position on that day. There probably isn't enough liquidity to even fill that position properly, right? So that's one issue they'll have. B, it's going to look highly suspicious if all of a sudden billions of dollars of a position just happens to enter before a huge drop, or before a massive move. Okay, because then everyone knows it's insider trading. Not that anyone would go to prison for it, most likely, because it happens all the time. But where was I? I lost my train of thought. But you get my drift, right? It could be insider trading. They know something. Or it could just be, someone making a big bet. It could be someone saying, I think the AI bubble is going to burst. There's a lot of talk about it. Maybe they know something that we don't know. Maybe it's just a hunch and they're willing to put so much money on the line. I don't know. Doesn't mean they're going to be right necessarily, but if all I can tell you is that is happening right now. That is happening. Can't tell you the reason for it. Just know that it is happening. And since it's happening, I'm going to side with the person putting billions in. Because they're most likely, I don't know. I feel like, if they're risking that amount of money, they must have something we don't know. Might be a dumb bet, but you got to follow the money at the end of the day. I don't have the benefit of any insider knowledge. I have the same information everyone else has, Let's see if we can get a pullback and then hopefully get an entry. Let me just load this up. Move that there. Yeah, this volume is insane. In Inash Kambi. If I mispronounce your name, I'm sorry. Yeah, this volume is mental, absolute mental. And we're just going straight back, reverting back to the middle. This is just one big this is just one big supply run, essentially. Create demand, an institution supply, get filled, and then make your move. Sania, I spoke to you yesterday. Come on. You keep coming into my stream and just promoting your stuff. I'm going to have to kick you, unfortunately. and remove your comments now. I said yesterday I'll let it slide, but this time, come on. Don't come in my stream, start promoting your stuff. That's not cool, man. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to get rid of that comment. I was kind about yesterday. I said I'll let it slide yesterday, but it feels like you're just spamming now because it was the exact same message you put yesterday. You're just going into everyone's stream and copy and pasting, you know, promoting your stuff. That's not what this is about. Load this up. I've only managed to take one trade on my cash account. Come on, give me a good pullback. Give me a good pullback. This doesn't look good. By the way, if I was in a short right now, I would want to get out at this moment in time. I don't like the volume build up. The same thing's happening on the sell side right now. You know, lots of people chasing the market and the buyers are absorbing the sellers right now. So I'm hoping it's the start of a pullback. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I've just got a message through. I have another one of these interviews I need to do in 10 minutes. I'm just going to double check that it's still actually happening. Because if it's not happening, I can stay on. If it is, obviously, I'll have to conduct the interview and then I can, what do you call it? Come back on. Let me just double check this. I feel the last few days it's been better to trade later on because it's just been too hectic during the open. And then it calms down a few hours into it and things just get a bit like the footprint yesterday after around, I don't know what time it was. Like after 12 p.m. Eastern, the footprint in the market was just beautiful to trade yesterday. That was like, and I feel like today is going to be a similar day where a bit later, maybe in like an hour's time, the market's just going to calm down. And you're going to have some really nice opportunities to trade this market, I think. Sorry, what was I doing? Hi guys, I have an interview with Dozer in 8 minutes. All right, just double checking if that's still going. I wanted to ask, do you use the fib tool? I'm struggling with it. Too many wrong info on how to use it. Honestly, I don't use the fib, but from my understanding, it's whenever there's a trend. Where's the fib? Here it is. So like, let's say there's an uptrend, right? So the push up, you measure it from the bottom to the top, and then the area you really want to kind of potentially look to buy in is between the 0.5 and 618, I think it is. And then when it gets in there, you potentially want to look to buy, and then you would enter a position like based on some rejection or however you candlestick pattern, whatever it might be. You'll enter a buy, you put your stop. Some people say below the 7, whatever line it is, 786. And then you target the extension, like the O2 extension, all the way up here, for example. So you do something like that. That's essentially, from my understanding, how Fibonacci works. But I don't really, I use more the similar idea actually, but more the volume profile. So I would draw like the volume profile from here to here, and I would look at any gaps where I could potentially take a trade. So there's, there's a gap. So when we get there, I'll be looking at potentially taking a trade if I have a long bias, obviously. But I don't really have a long bias yet. I mean, you could have scalped this long easily, this market, because it's just up and down, up and down. It's actually a very kind of you can scalp both ways. But in my mind, I know that seller exists, and it can happen at any moment. This is the thing. You just don't know. It can happen at any moment, and all of a sudden, boom. And I really, really like, it's going to be obviously during the New York session. It's not going to do it in the middle of the night, right? It's going to be when it's active. But at any moment, that move could happen. And I really hope I catch it, because my God, will it be biblical, man? Be a biblical move. It's going to be serious volume, like serious movement. Now we're just consolidating again. We're not really doing anything, but you see this build up of sellers, like on the cumulative, but we're struggling to push down. What's interesting is you will see that happen, right? And a lot of the time recently as well, normally when the market's quite balanced, and there's no like giant, I'll quickly say this last few minutes, and then because I'll have to leave, but I will come back on. I guarantee I'll come back on as soon as this interview's done. It will be like 20-30 minutes and I'll be back on the stream, so I won't be gone long. But normally, let me just explain this. Whenever you see like consolidation, right, on a very balanced market, whichever side is least efficient, 9 times out of 10 it will go on to the more efficient side. So we started off the volume at 46 at the beginning of this sideways movement. Now we're at negative 340. So there's been an extra 300 sell contracts in that area, and we haven't actually pushed down. So normally you'd be more likely to buy the market, right? Because the buyers are more efficient at this moment in time. But what I've noticed recently as well is when that happens, when it's, you know, more inefficient to the sell side, the sellers a lot of the time overwhelm and push it down, which means there's absorption happening from the buy side, but not like a great deal absorption. It's like just standard kind of level absorption. But on the other hand, when it happens to the buyers, the sellers can absorb an insane amount of volume. When that seller's in the market building up their position somewhere, and you don't know where they are because it's an iceberg, it's hidden, all right? But they'll be somewhere within this order book. Whenever they get hit, my God, can they absorb volume that is insane. Like 1,000 contracts should make this market shoot like a ridiculous amount, and it just doesn't. Just stops it in its tracks, essentially. Whoever that person is, they've got too much money. That's all I can say. They got way too much money. But guys, all right, I need to go. I'll be back in, I'll say 30 minutes to an hour. Just got to do a quick interview, and then I will be back on this stream. All right. So I'll see you guys in latest like 1 hour. All right. I'll be back in a mo. Take care, everyone. I'll see you in an hour. Bye-bye.